Eric, it is Wednesday.
It's Wednesday.
What does that mean?
So many things. It means we get to talk with you. That's good.
Shall we begin?
Let's begin. I think the first thing maybe we want to talk about is the Freedom Boys initiative. So Tim Sledrick in the video last week, Wednesday, shared a little bit about that and explained it. We invite you to participate in that. If you would submit checks, indicate Freedom Boys, and submit those to the church office, that's a way to partner with their ministry there.
And we want to thank you for your responsiveness to that already and acknowledge that there's one more week left in this project. Second, next week, Tuesday, is our Feeding America distribution date. This weekend, you will see a Sign Up Genius coming through in the WeMail, and we want to encourage you to think about serving in this way. This has been a vital ministry during quarantine. It's been 4 months. It's hard to believe. Probably most significantly, we want to update you. We're grateful that Mick is out of ICU and back home, and Gord and Mick are grateful for that.
I think now is the time to start thinking about the option for more options, an option for in-person worship here at church. And staff and executive team and leadership have been thinking a lot about this and trying to get the best and safest experience that we possibly can. But that's going to mean some new things.
Starting with, we are only going to be using the main entrances. They're labeled F and A. So you know them as the main entrance and the one directly opposite of that. Those are going to be the only doors open on a Sunday morning. And we are going to have people ushering you in and ushering you out. We want to make this as safe as possible.
Yeah. Think wedding style is really
good.
What we're after.
It's very good. And as you can see, we've got the space set up for physical distancing. You can't see it, but the sanctuary is set up for physical distancing already. So we're going to use the outside doors entering into the sanctuary, the left and the right, and we're going to ask people to go to the end of their row and use appropriate distancing from the people who are in your row.
Yeah, there'll be a video attached to this one kind of explaining how we're hoping that you'll come in and then leave again when worship is over.
So this is the opportunity also to be candid together. Numbers are rising in this country, as you well know, and numbers are rising in Michigan as of this week. So we want to encourage you to be smart. Use care and discretion, not only for yourself, but for those around you. If you've got headaches, if you've got aches, if you've got fever, if you're not feeling well, if you've been around someone who's been in the same boat, please continue to use the live stream option. That will be normal in terms of your YouTube experience, but it'll be live. It won't be pre-recorded. Let's also be candid to say that we know that there are active confirmed cases in our congregation. These have put us in double digits in terms of the number of cases of Georgetown people, and we're talking confirmed cases. There's also many presumed cases in the last 4 months. So this is not something that's out there. This is something that's in our community, and we want to be smart. So for those of you who are on the inside of that and know that firsthand, we're grateful for your health and your well-being, but we're also wanting to communicate to everyone. We need to be considerate of one another. We need to be smart. This is not Menards or Costco where we're going to have a bouncer at the front of the door checking you whether or not you have a mask. But what we want to say is we want to recommend it. We want to highly recommend it. This is a way of expressing kindness and love to one another and to the community around us. We also want you to know that when we are aware of someone who has been here on a particular Sunday who is positively diagnosed with COVID, we are going to send out an email. We will not disclose who that person is unless the health department requires us to, but we will let you know if we know that there's been a positive possibility of exposure.
And in an effort to kind of increase the safety of the experience, worship is going to look a little bit different. The service itself may be abbreviated. The singing is going to be limited. So if you're sitting here in person, you may notice that there will not be words on the screen, for instance. And that's in an effort for you to enjoy the music, to listen, but refrain from singing. We'll offer a limited time for that at the end, but Katie's been very thoughtful and diligent about how to structure this in a way that is good and edifying, but also creates the safest experience that we can.
And we're acknowledging that we're all learning through this experience. So as we move to live stream, that's an important transition in the ministry that we offer. And we can't say enough again about Chris and Nolan and their efforts. If you could see it, there is a pile of electronic equipment to Eric's right that's probably 15 feet long. Exactly. It looks a little bit like airplane wreckage. But all of that's getting cleaned out of here, and there's much more work to be done in anticipation of Sunday. But be patient with us, because we're figuring this out. I can't imagine that there's not going to be some electronic bugs or some challenges in terms of seating or learning how this goes. But let's work together like we always do in good Georgetown spirit, and not only help but cooperate. Another thing we should note is that we're going to leave these chairs permanently set up here. When people sit in the gathering area, they're often prone to being helpful and stacking them up. We're going to leave them here for the duration because we're using this space for worship at this time.
A couple other small notes. There will not be childcare provided. That space is going to be available if you have a child who's crying or you need to just get away. You can utilize that space. The worship will be broadcast in there. We don't want kids in there just to play and hang out, but if you need to get away, that's an option for you. Also, there will be no refreshments afterwards, and there will be no sunshine worship. We're trying to keep things minimal.
And we are, I don't like the word so much, but I don't have another one at this moment. We are trying to manage and regulate what happens in this space for the good of public safety, for community safety. Once we get you outside, we want to encourage you to be smart and diligent, but go out on the grass and physical distance and visit and enjoy fellowship. We don't have a cup of coffee for you, but this will be an opportunity to see one another again, and we know that we're all aching for that. So just know that once we get you out of the building, please use your own discretion, and we don't have the kind of measured spaces like we do or procedures like we do in the building. We know that being outside is a much safer place.
Thank you for participating in this community, being in prayer for wisdom for our church, our community, and our nation as we travel this journey together. Thank you, and we are eager to have you plug in one way or the other on Sunday morning with us.
And I want to celebrate Eric and the rest of our staff, who I think we have adapted in astonishing ways in this time. And we appreciate, too, the wisdom of community churches, some of whom have begun assembling, some that are still not. We remain in conversation with other congregations to look at best practices, and we receive their good advice, and we give our good counsel to them as well. So thank you for being part of our community of faith, and the peace of the risen Christ to you.